Dan Illman, Mike Beer in the paddock at beautiful Monmouth Park. We are 2 days away from Saturday's DRF race of the day. It's the Grade 1 Haskell. 3-year-olds going 1 1/8 miles. It's the signature race of the Monmouth Park meet. We're going to take a look at the field.
Want to view free Formulator past performances for this race? Head to the Race of the Day page at DRF.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel and bet this card with DRF Bets.
And remember to scan your QR code for Race of the Day access on your mobile device. Mike, it's a really fun field for the Haskell. The two favorites in here are the 2 Taba and the 7 Jack Christopher. And both of these horses have questions to answer.
They really do. I mean, I don't know what the bigger story is in this race, Dan. Is it Jack Christopher trying to stretch out for the first time off of a really impressive win sprinting? Or is it Taba making his return here after a Derby that didn't work out, where they were probably just asking a little bit too much, a little bit too soon?
Bob Baffert making a return to Monmouth as well, where he has owned the Haskell. He will be the trainer of record for Taba once again. We throw up the Timeform U.S. pace projector, and right away we see an intriguing sort of race within the race. Taba has speed. We know the Baffert horses like to show speed. Jack Christopher, stretching out, has to show speed. He has shown the ability to sit. If you're Mike Smith, do you take this race to Jack Christopher?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you come out of there running, you try to make the lead in this race. Not only because it's probably the right thing to do with a horse who is obviously talented to your outside, but who, you might want to test his fitness a little bit, but also just because that's what Baffert does with his good horses, man. They do not rate in races like this. They come out of there running, they go to the lead, they make you try to run them down.
If those horses get involved in an enervating pace battle, it sets things up for stalkers and closers. And don't you get the feeling that the #1 Cyberknife is just slowly improving? He was always a work in progress for Brad Cox. Very green in his early races. And then he put it together the last time he went 1 1/8 miles, winning the Arkansas Derby. The Kentucky Derby didn't work out. He was all out to win the Mat win, maybe pulling up to some of his old tricks, because it looked like he had it won at the 3/16, and then I don't know how he got the bob.
Yeah, it's true. He looked like he was going to, drop a tough decision there at a very short price. He still ran a good race overall, but you're right, Dan. He's still a little bit of a quirky horse. It kind of felt like in that Arkansas Derby 3 starts back, the big Grade 1 win, almost felt like he got it all figured out in that race. He made an early move. He went in tight between horses. He carried on. I thought he won the race pretty impressively, even though it wasn't the strongest field in the world. I just don't think you're supposed to judge him that way, that he beat a subpar field. I think you're supposed to judge him and say, he finally took a step forward there. Forget about the Derby. He ran fine last time, even though he had to work really hard. This is a talented horse. He's not impossible in here.
And we saw that replay in the Arkansas Derby. All that came after he unseated the rider in the post parade. Keep an eye on him in the paddock. There are going to be a lot of folks out here on Saturday afternoon. The #2 is Taba. Super debut winner for Baffert earlier this year sprinting. Nice winner of the Santa Anita Derby. Sat a good clip off the pace. Rolled by in only his second lifetime start. Proved he could handle 1 1/8 miles. And listen, the Derby, too much too soon in only his 3rd start. Got caught in behind horses and tasted dirt for the first time.
Yeah, nothing really worked out for him there. That wasn't, that difficult to see coming in there. I mean, you knew that he was a talented horse. You sort of had the idea that he was going to take money in there, and he probably wasn't that great a gamble. But you understand why they ran him in the race, Dan, based off his first 2 starts, which were super impressive, including the Santa Anita Derby, where I just thought he ran great, sitting off the pace a little bit. I don't think they're going to sit here, but I guess it's good to know that they can if they have to.
We just saw him win the Santa Anita Derby. That was a race with a good pace. He sat off of it. He fired home to beat a horse that was sort of the rage at the time in his stablemate Messier. New Jersey bred, a little home cooking up next. That's the 3 one-time Willard. 3rd last time out against New Jersey bred sprinting. Now he's got to stretch all the way out and just talk about a hiking class.
Yeah, it's just really hard to make a case for him here. They're going to, send him out there on Saturday, hope that maybe he can get a little bit lucky and maybe grab a piece of this thing.
Is the #4 Howling Time returning to form for Dale Romans? He started his career like he could be something. He won a slow race, the Street Sense, in his 2nd lifetime start, but he was stretching out from 6 to 1 1/16 miles, and he looked pretty good doing it. 3 bad races in a row followed. He then got a really smart class drop from Dale Romans, won easily over a sloppy track, and then last time out gave Cyberknife all he could handle.
Yeah, I thought he ran well. Last time it was a really good performance, and one that I guess, if nothing else, he kind of showed that if you run him in a graded stakes race against a good horse, he's not just going to totally fold up as he had in his prior 3 starts. I don't know. I guess he's a little bit of a wild card here, Dan. He obviously has to improve again, and this this is not an easy Haskell for them to run him in, but I guess he deserves a shot.
A concern also is that his last 2 races, his improved performances are coming. They just let him run out of the gate. And I just think there's virtually no chance of him making the lead in this race. He did win from off the pace at 2. Really loved the way he tried last time out. Thought he got that bob against Cyberknife. King of Hollywood is up next. This is a Kentucky bred who had a $30,000 claim voided at Aqueduct back in February. He was a dead heat winner at Monmouth, 2 back going a mile, and then beaten $1 million in the Pegasus.
I mean, I don't see how you make a case for him in here. Another horse who seems like he kind of wants to be forward in his races, although I guess he did sit a little bit 2 starts back. It's really, really hard to see him winning this race.
Have people jumped off the White Barrio train? I think it's pretty unfair if they did. We're going to watch White Barrio's most recent performance. It was the Ohio Derby, and okay, he got beat by Tawny Port. He chased a pretty solid pace that day and only got beat a length. The Kentucky Derby didn't go well, but he ran very well in the Florida Derby, very well in the Holy Bull. He has a nice burst of speed, a good tactical gear, and he's going to sit off the pace.
I mean, all those things are true. You know, he ran fine in the Ohio Derby last time. He didn't really have any excuse as far as I could tell. He was just second best that day. Nothing wrong with that performance, but it was the kind of race, at least in my opinion, Dan, the Ohio Derby, where you kind of wanted to see this horse take a little bit of a step forward off of the Kentucky Derby, where I thought he was one of the few horses who didn't get a great trip in that race. He didn't take a step forward last time. This is a tougher race.
Undefeated Jack Christopher is up next, but he's also going to have to try 2 turns for the first time. 4 for 4 in his career. Winner of the Grade 1 Champagne in his second lifetime start. Handled the layoff without any rust in the Pat Day Mile in his seasonal debut. And then this race, the Woody Stevens, where he got his usual trip, didn't he? He sits outside. The pace wasn't very fast. He blew to the top, but boy, he sprinted on home.
Yeah, he has a way of looking really, really good when things go his way, and it's just so nice to see a horse who is just so handy. He's fast, but he's very, very handy in his races. He's had a great trip last time. As you said, sprinted through the stretch might be an understatement. Really, really impressive. Can he stretch out, Dan? They're going to try it here for the first time, and they're going to try it in a really tough race.
A lot of sprint influences in this family as well, and he might be facing some heat early from the 2 Taba. Now, Benevengo, the 8, also has speed. He just went gate to wire in this race. A first level allowance at Monmouth, going a mile and a 16th for Jesse Cruz. Looked good doing so. He's won 3 of 4 lifetime starts. He's never lost on a fast track. This is, of course, a giant step up in class, and he's another horse with a running style that could be hurt by Jack Christopher and Taba's speed.
All those things are true. And listen, this horse has run well in all of his starts. He deserves a chance to step up in class, but this is a race that has some real talent signed on. It also has a lot of filler. It feels like the 8 is a little bit of filler.
Top pick time for the Haskell. Before the top pick time, click on the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for all the latest DRFTV video offerings. Now top pick time. You trust Baffert in here with Taba. He's won this Haskell, what, 1 million times?
Yeah, Baffert's back. I can't take Jack Christopher at, some kind of super short price. I think he's going to be favored in here. I cannot take him stretching out for the first time against a horse like this. I think Baffert has this horse ready.
I respect Jack Christopher a lot, but I have the same questions with Mike, especially at the reduced price. Taba, I'd like to see him do it after the Derby. He's only his 4th lifetime start, folks remember, and he could get caught up in a fast pace. So I went with a little bit of an under-the-radar, outside-the-box horse. Howling Time started his career like he was going to be something good. I thought his last 2 races are good. He's a little trier, and maybe he could track in behind the pace. Should be a fun Haskell. Lots of questions answered for the second half of the year. It's your Saturday race of the day. Good luck.